Can I get some thumbs up? Let's see if we can get some thumbs up, some clap reactions. Who's ready for tonight? You know, who's ready to really get this spoken word and this open mic, everything going? Perfect. I see some. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of this too.
And you guys, just remember, if you're interested in sharing any of your work, please put your name in on the chat, because I can have access to the chat. So what I'm doing is I'm looking in the chat, and I'm looking at people who sign their names, and then I'm going to write your names down on the list. And if at any point, if you're debating, hey Lindsay, if you're debating and you get inspired, just put your name in the chat, and I'll be sure to get you up. But I want to try to get as many people as possible an opportunity to kind of, you know, say what's on their mind.
All right, and we moved on to our next slide here. So as you can see, who you just heard from, Prentice Powell, he is going to be leading us tonight with our open mic. So we're just going to go ahead and give just kind of a brief rundown of this amazing man that we have here. So as you can see, everything that's up on the shared screen with you, Prentice Powell approaches every stage from Amsterdam to London and South Africa, knowing that he has a gift, yet allowing his performance to speak for itself. So I think those words right there, allowing his performance to speak to itself, no pun intended, right? So yeah, so I think we're gonna be, you know, hearing some great things. Sasha, welcome in, our second co-host here.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Sasha.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, just getting into some more information there. I know you guys probably have taken the time to kind of read Prentice's bio right there as well, just to kind of highlight him, you know, as a former host and curator of the prestigious open mic Mouth of Wednesdays in Oakland. For 6 years, Powell is an educator, a family man, a writer, and an accomplished spoken word artist. He has been recognized as a National Slam finalist in 2006 in Oakland, and San Francisco's Grand Slam champion, 2007 Spoken Word Artist of the Year by the Black Music Awards, 2011 East Bay Express Best Poet, and 2013 NAACP Image Award nominee. Recently landing his first role in Hollywood, featuring with his feature film She Ball, which Nick Cannon and Chris Brown both promoted, I believe. If you want to correct me on that one, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? The accolades are cool. We don't need all that. I was in a movie with Chris Brown. It's cool. But yeah, I cringe with hearing all that stuff anyway. But thank you. I'm scrolling. I'm not on my computer screen, so I'm on my phone looking at all the people tapped in. So shout out to all of you for being here. Again, my name is Prentice Powell. I'm glad that you guys are tapped in right now. You could be doing many other things like scrolling or trying to figure out what's going to open so you can get some fresh air, or trying to stay sane because your kids are driving you crazy, or trying to figure out when you're moving because you realize that your roommate, you can't do it, or assessing that relationship you've been in for hella long, but you realize that it probably ain't what you really wanted because this quarantine showed that. So there's a million things you could be doing right now, but you're here and you're tuned in, and we are here to celebrate once again the annual open mic for San Jose Juneteenth Festival, which is always a wonderful event, staple in the Bay Area. I honestly think that it's really, really awesome that we're able to do this way virtually, because I feel like we have people from all across the country who can come into this space and kind of, you know, share their feelings, exchange a little bit of positive energy or whatever the energy you have to give. So, like I said, right now, the list is not that long. So what we're trying to do is encourage everybody. If you have more than one poem that you want to spit right now, that's no problem. I'm going to ask that everybody just say how you feel, what's on your mind. No judgment, please. It's a trying time. We all know that. I'm kind of drained, but I know I'm not the only one. But let's just really use this as an opportunity to share some positive energy, whether that comes from, you know, you expressing yourself from a standpoint of pain, happiness, sorrow, whatever you want to do. So we're here for you guys. We appreciate you guys being here. Let me check the chat list again real quick just to see if there's any other names who signed up. I see San Jose's in here. I see Z from B More. Remember, you want to encourage people to sign up. Tell them to tap in. But here, okay. So I got a list. First person on my list, the first person I saw is the one who we're going to bring up here. So, Lindsay, where you at?
Am I unmuted now?
Let me
okay.
See. I can hear you.
I'm still getting used to Zoom, so I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate Milan texting me last night to see if I would be here. So I was coming to watch, but they asked me to perform, so happy to be here.
I'm glad you did. How are you feeling lately? You know, I don't want this just to be just that simple. You know how we do this every year, right? The open mic and share the work. But I think it's important that we kind of, you know, we have some time so to kind of just talk to each other and see how we're feeling, you know, during this midst of time. So I want to check in with you first and foremost before you share anything. How are you? Honestly, not the IG answer. What you're willing to share for these people that ain't in here right now. But how are you, Lindsay?
I feel very hopeful, you know, in the beginning of like the pandemic and just Black Lives Matter is not a new issue, but as it like heightened at first, I felt all the pain that like the whole country is holding. And over the past few weeks, specifically seeing a city like San Jose that is hit or miss with like kind of protest activity. There's been like thousands of people actively participating. So to be honest, it's still painful, but at the same time, like I feel super hopeful because I see so many different kinds of people like stepping up and learning like what does it mean to be not like a performative ally, but to like really be an ally and to really like check the people that share any kind of privilege with you or like background with you. So I see people getting more empowered to like to do something and to say something and to like instead of being like, oh, like I'm not privileged, like whatever privileges that we all have. I see more folks kind of like owning that. So even though it's still hard, it makes me feel a lot more just hopeful that things are actually going to go to the next level more so than we've really ever seen. So it's a mixed bag, but.
You said owning the, you know, whatever privilege you may have. Have you like realized that there's a type of privilege you have that you did not realize?
I wouldn't say didn't realize, like I'm Asian American, so it's like to be a person of color, it's like there's still that marginalization, but it's like I see more people in the Asian community kind of understanding like, yes, like we experience racism, and especially with all the COVID stuff, a lot of people kind of experience that for the first time, but I see people more accessing the privilege, like, you know what, we're not in danger with the police and we can get housing and we can get bank loans. And while there is like that marginalization, there's things that we have access to that our Black counterparts do not. And I see the Asian community, especially people my age and younger, I'm 35, people don't know. So particularly people younger than myself, like stepping up to educate like parents and grandparents. And there's all these like resources coming out in different languages so people can really talk to their family members that like from other countries in Asia that like have no idea what any of this means. So I see people utilizing the privilege as far as like explaining it and kind of like owning that to support and to be more active allies in all of this.
Word. And I congratulate you. I thank you as a Black man for doing that. I think a lot of people don't realize that that is the first way to really, in my opinion, to really help when you're not Black, is to speak to those people in your community, within your culture, who contribute to the oppression that we face. And I understand for a lot of people outside of our culture that it can be really uncomfortable to do. You could be having to talk to your grandparents who raised you, you know, your parent who raised you, but this is part of that sacrifice and truly being an ally. We're allies by being vocal when we can't do certain things physically. So salute to you. Thank you for sharing that. And we got some time. So, you know, if you would be willing to kick more than one poem for us, we would love to hear more than one from you. But I'm going to give you the floor, and it's on you, Lindsay.
Okay. Thank y'all for the patience. I'm still getting used to Zoom. So this is it's actually my first time performing on Zoom. So speaking of Juneteenth, my all-time favorite person in hip hop, like activist, everything that inspired me as an artist is Tupac Shakur. And on the 16th, it would be his 49th birthday. And they say that his song Changes is like streaming more than ever when we're talking about like protest music. And I hope that we're getting to a point where instead of being the most relevant, that it could be to a point that we appreciate the history of it, but that it stops being relevant. And so I wrote this piece actually when Tupac would have turned 40, and it just seems timely to share it again. It's called What If Tupac Was at this point 49. We're here 24 years later, and I can't help but wonder, what if Tupac was 49? Because there's reasons I shout you out piece after piece, year after year. Reciting your lyrics is not sheer internalization, but memorization. Because I came up feeling like it was me against the world, so I had to keep my head up. Sometimes I feel trapped, so I've had ambitions as a writer. While I shed so many tears for what I won't do for love, or repping Panther Power. Wondering if Thug's Mansion really exists. You hollered, and I heard while I was staring at the world through my emotional rear view. I hope we buried you a G. I exist in the depths of solitude. Hoping tomorrow I'll wake anew because I fought with all my heart to keep my dreams alive. If you were 49, would I still know your poetry? It's affected every aspect of my life since 1999. I was 14 then. Because you left us behind and we haven't moved on from you. Because we feel or we felt isolated, alone, frustrated, and angry. I was 11 then. We cried tears the world didn't understand. We heard that you were gone. I was 26. 15 years later. And the lessons I learned in the transition from 25 to 26 cannot be quantified. Once I turned 25, I couldn't help but understand more clearly what we lost and what you gave, living so much that quickly, saying goodbye too early. So what if you were 49? Today you'd be described as old school, maybe even an OG like Too Short and Snoop. Would the West Coast still be so overshadowed by the dirty South? Or would you have been doing Lil Jon Crunk remixes in 2003? Would you have come back to the Bay, Ghost Ride the Whip, hyphy movement remixes with E40 in the mid-2000s on some underground conscious-ish with Cyanide? Would you have been a Forbes hip-hop power player like Diddy, 50 Cent, and Jay-Z? Would Jacob the Jeweler have been icing you out from 1999 to 2003? What would you think about us? Ready to have a half black president in 2008, where you half right or half wrong? Would you rock vote or die t-shirts in 2004? Would you rock Obama on your chest because he was a change you could believe in the way we believed in you? Would you be an OG rap superstar on reality TV like Rev Run, Snoop, and MC Hammer with a beautiful wife and family? Or would you be a hip-hop scholar like Michael Eric Dyson and Trisha Rose? Would you be copping Shakur our bookshelves, not to CDs and iTunes downloads? Would you be a CEO running hip-hop with more intelligence and swag than Lil Wayne and Diddy? Because once upon a time, Bad Boy invented the remix and rocked the party. Now Diddy is the party with no soundtrack. If you were 49, what would become of your homies and rival B.I.G.? Will we still be mourning him? If you mourned him with us, would you have a change of heart rocking Tats Notorious Thug Life? Because once you left, hip-hop sadness transformed to a rise of power, pimps, bitches, bling, parties, and middle fingers up. If you were 49, would you have us thinking and screaming out your words, or would Trisha Rose be right? Today, you'll be labeled a conscious rapper, so all your new stuff would be all the ill rhymes most of us never heard of. If you were 49, we'd still be asking, whatever happened to the West Coast, except for when AJ and Free used to host 106 in Park and BET actually played your videos. When BET actually played videos, would Rap City, Video Soul, and every other video program be gone if you were 49? Because you have the charisma to captivate us beyond catchy hooks, dope videos, and controversial rumors. You give speech and say, fuck that. And we never questioned your integrity or your intelligence. If you were 49, we label you a sellout because too many of your peers sold us out and hip hop decided to start having so much fun that we stopped having fun. If you were 49, how many rappers could have avoided jail time and supposedly wrote dope lyrics on the outside? Would you have tweeted open letters to T.I. and Chris Brown because you matured past all the mistakes you left in your youth? Your voice of reason, the America you're trying to lock out when the media reports on the issues afflicting young black males. If you were 49, would you still rock skinny jeans like in Juice, or would it be army fatigues and combat boots? Would you retire ghetto fabulous shiny shoes and fly suits? What would you be rocking if you were 49? Would your work ethic still shame every other MC ever born? Would you say to hell with the industry and drop online mixtapes for free because you could, and we would listen without question or hesitation? Tupac, if you were 49, would every other rapper of the moment jack your style, jack your swag, even though you came up when we still called it flavor? Would you have the maximum capacity of Facebook friends? Would you be the illest DJ on satellite radio? Would you star in kid movies like Ice Cube and Are We There Yet? Would the Black Panther Party be stronger than ever to the point we never had to care about Barack Obama because Thug Life was more than anybody thought it was? Would your tweets become open letters on how to fight the man using the man's technology? If you were 49, we have witnessed Apocalypse Now. Would your mama have been the catalyst of men being the leaders of feminism within hip hop? Would death still be around the corner with the thug passion? Would you still be down wondering if heaven got a ghetto? I'm here 24 years later, and it's all eyes me when I say, what if Tupac was 49? Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing.
We
Go ahead,
appreciate
take
you,
it over,
Lindsay.
Princess.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're muted. Okay, but look, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your words. Hopefully you sit in and just continue to enjoy get some feedback in here. Everybody seems to enjoy it. If you like it, this is the other thing I want to express to you. It's not easy. Like, this is different. For a lot of us who are used to being in front of an audience, I think the thing with spoken word poetry that I've noticed during the quarantine, not being able to travel and performing in front of the camera, it's a whole different atmosphere, right? It's a lot like performing for television, because a lot of times you have to create the audience in your mind. And with us as poets, I know for me personally, I feed off the energy of people that are in the room. You know, that eye contact means something. Hearing that one finger snap can motivate you to keep going, you know, just that energy that we create. So it's a lot harder when you're just staring into a camera and looking at yourself on the phone trying to kick poems and you're not getting any feedback. I know when the quarantine started for me, I had to do I did like a 45-minute feature, which isn't long in real time on stage, but on the phone, when you're just doing poems and nobody's saying anything back, it can be quite an adjustment. So you did good. I say all that to say you did good, Lindsay, for the first time. So hats off to you. It only makes us sharper though, right? You know, performing in different environments always just makes us better. So shout out to you for doing that. So we're gonna keep going. Up next, let me see, Cedric X, are you still in here? I'm looking for Cedric. Z, I'm gonna call you soon. But, oh, there you go, right there. Cedric X. Gotta unmute yourself, brother. How you doing today?
Peace, brother. How about you?
I'm well, man. Where you from, bro?
Rochester, New York, 585 upstate.
So you in New York right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, that's the dope thing about this, man. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know necessarily if you would have been in downtown San Jose tonight, if we was doing this actually in an establishment, bro. So I'm glad you're here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, yo, let me just ask you some questions, bro, before you share any of your work, man. How are you feeling?
Man, by Allah's grace, I'm feeling fine, brother, to be honest, with everything that's going on. You know, it's a trying time. We're in a dark hour, but I'm motivated, optimistic. I'm a member of the Nation of Islam, so my teacher and guide has prepared us for this what is going on, this pandemic. So with that being said, I'm at ease.
Word. That's good, brother. That's good. How are you mentally?
Oh, brother, man, I'm feeling great. Like I say, open-minded. I'm feeling elevated. In this hour, I would say definitely just having the opportunity to reflect and just build on knowledge and knowledge of self has been very imperative for myself. Having the opportunity to build with my family more. So that has done a tremendous job for me mentally, keeping me focused.
Word. That's what's up, bro. Well, I'm glad you're doing well, man. I'm glad, you know, your teaching is helping you. I'm glad your faith is helping you pull through. You know, we all have different things that get us through, brother. I'm glad you have yours that work for you. So the floor is yours, brother. If you would like to do a few poems, you are more than welcome to. It's on you. There's no pressure, but the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I'm gonna start with my first poem. Actually, I'm gonna do a couple, if you don't mind. I just recently released a project, my first spoken word project, on May 11th, called Poetic Sign of the Times for the Supreme Wisdom. So I'm gonna recite a couple from that project. The first one is Poet. Pain objective, edify teaching. Pain objective, edify teaching. Paint optimism, elevate thinking. Pacify oligarchy, exterminate treason. Pulverize opposition, extort totalitarianism. Police, organize, exercise terrorism. Politics, oppress esoteric traditions. Paganism, operation, emasculate testaments. Proverbs, Obadiah, Exodus, Thessalonians. Psalms, originator, Ephesians, Taha, prayer, Omega, Elijah, Torah. Parables oppose enemies, Trumpism. President's occupation, egocentric tyrannism. Pharaoh, ousted, evaporate, termination. Pale faces occupy economic taxation. Philosophies obliterate evil temptations. Prophet, orator, educator, teacher, power, original, equality, truth, psychology, oceanography, etymology, technology, peace, omnificent, eclectic, terminology, poet. And the second one I would do, this one's entitled Unjust Society. Capitalizing is the true beauty of reality. Century 21, a person's status depends on salary. Sounds of the police make boys in the hood burn calories. Double homicide, apartheid, now that's tragedy. The government poisons our food, assuming we'll die slow like a battery. They issue drugs to every ghetto to kill us off mathematically. And build liquor stores by our schools. We're dying systematically. The only way you beat a body is by technicality. Soldiers fight the power. End result, they become casualties. A hustle is a hustle, so you can't knock my strategy. I'm from a city where tourists don't roam. Welcome to the valley of fatalities. Living in this world of calamity, where we suffer from lack of love and prosperity. Misery loves company. Self-hate, the leading cause of death. That's no fallacy. This unjust society is a rare form of reality. There is no United States in this democracy. Alphabet boys assume I'm in a game because people follow me. Will I be exiled like a Shadow Shakur or imprisoned for not going to war? They say reading is fundamental. Having knowledge is instrumental for us being caged in this kennel. There's a misconception. We're trapped in facilities where abuse is the correction. We need some sort of restitution for the Bill of Rights in this culturally biased constitution. Peace. Appreciate it.
Word, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your platform and all your hard work that you're doing out here for us, beloved. Thank you, sir.
Hey, brother, you know, I'm just happy to play my part, bro. You know what I mean? We all gotta play our part in whatever way we possibly can. You know, I think that's one thing that we gotta remember during this time. Not everybody's meant to be on the front line. You know what I mean? Not everybody's you know, not everybody has a gift of the tongue. So, you know, speaking may not be how you can assist, but there is a way you can assist, bro. So I just shout out to you, shout out to everybody else who's identified their skill set and how they can contribute to the cause, brother. And we just got to keep going and keep doing it. But I want you to stick around if you can, bro, because
absolutely.
We don't have Casanova Snow. I got you. I just seen it. We don't have a super deep list. And you know, if you have one more in the bag and I can get back around to you, brother, I definitely would love to, man. I'd like to make this just an open forum for those of us who are in here. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of things on our mind and our chest, so stick around as long as possible, bro. Put me into the chat. You can say if you want to run a rock again, bro, you're more than welcome to, and I appreciate you for sharing your time and your words.
Thank you, brother.
All right, cool. No problem, bro. Just go ahead and mute your joint for me, and then we'll keep moving. Okay. So, brother, Cedric X, do me a favor. Can you tell people how they can get in contact with you and follow and support you, please?
Oh, yes, sir. On Instagram, at Fruit of Supreme Wisdom. Same Cedric X FOSW on Twitter. So Fruit of Supreme Wisdom, Instagram, Cedric X FOSW on Twitter, Cedric X on Facebook. Okay, and you can check out my website, Priceless Poet Rhetoric, at wordpress.com.
Priceless Poet Rhetoric?
Yes, sir. That's my brand, my label, and everything I put my work under.
Word, bro. Okay, but we got you, man. Stick around. Stay in the chat if you can. Let's get some good energy, bro. But we appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right,
and do me a favor.
Yeah, there we go. Can you post in the chat for us your tags and any way that we can connect with you, please? The community would love to form those connections.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really, really happy about this, y'all. I'm gonna just say, because I really, really think it's awesome how we got people from all across the country tapped in right now, so we really can connect like this. So this makes me happy. And by the way, April, I seen your message. I got you. All right, so we're gonna keep going. This young brother that I'm going to ask to share right now. He is a humble dude. I've had the pleasure of talking to him, I don't know how long now, via DMs on Instagram every once in a while. I enjoy his poetry. He's a humble dude. So we just gonna bring him up. Prince, where you at, man? You here, Prince of Hyundai?
Can you hear me?
My guy, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed, highly flavored.
Are you? How you been feeling? How you been feeling lately? I ain't talked to you in a couple of weeks. I feel like. There we go. The exhale is necessary.
It is. It's an array of emotions. But I don't think you can summarize being a young Black man in America in just a few statements. So, or let alone the emotions that go and come with that. So, I would just say it's been a lot. Of course, I'm not really out like that. Like you said, on the front lines, everyone knows their role. For me, I'm the tactician. I watch and I observe. If I see something, I let you know. I repost, But, sending donations, signing petitions, being on the back end to where once everything is settled, myself and others who are like-minded now have some type of economic front to present. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more than just what we see.
Right.
So just staying calm, keeping myself grounded in love for myself, love for my family, love for not just my people, but any oppressed people, because, justice is swift and certain. So
I agree. I hear you, bro. Well, I'm always here if you need an ear, brother. You know that.
yeah,
Just
man.
extended your family tree by even logging in. I think that's the beauty of doing these kind of events, man. Is that just that quickly by the people who are in the room or in that forum, man, we create more of an umbrella of support,
Right,
and power. You know what I mean? So
right.
the floor is yours, my dude. You want to kick 2-3 poems? You do your thing, and
Okay.
after this, please get in the chat, type your information. That's how we're going to do it moving forward. So after you're
Okay.
done, I'll ask you how people can support you. You let them know. Then after that, you go directly into the chat so people can locate you and support you. I don't know if you got a book.
Come on now.
I don't know if you got a book.
Come on now.
But now's the young Black
No.
entrepreneur.
We gonna go through this.
We gonna go through this. Literature, brother.
We gonna go through this.
Read.
We gonna go through this.
Hey, let me shut up. Do your thing, man. It's on you.
Appreciate you. For real. And to anyone that knows me or knows my journey, I was writing, but I wasn't inspired to push my pen until I saw the system on Arsenio Hall, and that changed my perspective on poetry, slam, etc. So this is like I'm marinating in this moment right now. But I want to do one piece. It's been on my heart, and then the next one or two will be from the book. But this is called Nature versus a White Guy with a Gun. We've been dragged through the mud of ignorance. Still, Elmer Fudd couldn't catch bugs even with his many tricks. They call it lucky. I say it's innate. Like he was never created for four walls in the form of long bars, a device of nature, constantly on the run from being a white man's tool. And no matter how many plans are devised, Mother Nature has a way of siding with the offspring, right? But my phenotypes breed phenomena like hunting season. I can't change what's in my genes. I ain't talking Japanese denim. I'm talking my DNA. Please do not advance on my life, or you may be bombarded with hashtags and gas masks. Caged birds screaming for freedom with jazz notes and boom bap. Daniel forever guiding my spirit, but Caesar still keep us from roaming. Can you really blame me if my gifts are God-given? Can you really plot to smite us out of spite if we're his real children? Not really, but I get it. The weakest germ alive, you have to prove you can stand on your own, right? And if I stand alone, then I stand no more, right? Bullet wounds. They're constantly firing my way, so I daffy and dodge, duck, duck, goosebumps when one grazes, another punctures flesh. People pick up the phone to record instead of request backup. This is feeling more and more like a horror flick directed by Travis Scott. I thought Pippen would have helped me beat the system, but I guess a basketball will only go so far when they need it to most. I'm backed up on a car holding my arm and a star shines in my face. Elmer Fudd is looking down at me, gun drawn, and he says, "Silly wabbit, wanting don't stop the twigger. No matter what you do, you're still just a nigger." Okay. It takes a lot.
I'm telling you, my young homie got talent. My young homie got talent.
Okay.
And I want everyone to try something a little different this time. So when people are done doing their please unmute yourself and give them praise and let them feel the energy, okay?
Praise belongs to the Most High. Thank you.
Go off, poet.
Thank you.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that was raw. That was awesome.
Appreciate you.
Very
It's funny.
nice. Very nice.
That's
I like
funny.
the metaphor, Elmer Fudd.
Appreciate you. Yeah. I grew up watching Bugs Bunny a lot. And for some reason, growing up, I was like, dang, that's no different from me or some of my peers. Like, we always running. We always got somebody with a star or a badge on, looking to try and lock us up, looking to try to get us, whether it's, whatever. So yeah, that kind of wrote itself. Getting
I
into
like
this.
what you did though. I think it took courage to do the Elmer Fudd line, the break in between you hit the voice, like just that little space of silence. Keep that.
Yeah.
Because that was impactful how you did it, man. It was dope.
Appreciate you. It was weird because it always comes naturally. Yeah. Even when I wrote it, that silence of like almost detaching yourself from the character you were talking about and building up to that point, that silence like breaks it. And you're like, wait, what? And then it's like whole new character. Like now you're the one holding the barrel. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a mind thing. This next one, this is from my book, Unwarranted Approval. I published this in December of last year. It's like 3 years worth of poems. But it's under 100 pages, so it's nothing crazy. It's actually, I was inspired to actually write a poem by Rudy Francisco. I bought his book Helium, and when I saw it and I saw how like thin it was, because for some reason every time I got literature it was always thick. So when I saw it and I was like, wait, this is it. But then I read the depth of it. I was like, okay, let's do something. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to him because like I study him as well.
Absolutely.
I love his content. So we're gonna do one. this book is broken into 3 parts. The first one is seeking, which is like seeking approval. The book is called Unwarranted Approval. And the theme behind it is, of course, young man growing into his own. When you're younger, you seek the approval from someone, whether it be your parent, guardian, whatever. Part 2, however, is like the rebellious stage, right? It's called trials or keep your approval. And then part 3 is called healing, reflection, and progression. So it's like you start off one way, you go the exact opposite way, and then you kind of find that balance. So I want to do a piece called Full Circle, or Letter to the Big Papa I Never Met but have heard stories of. And yeah, we just gonna get right into it. You remind me of the dudes I see on the corner, overwhelmed by the weight of the world, but too proud to admit it aloud. So you scream for help by finding solace at the end of a bottle, because at least then, after the gins have passed away by morning, you'll feel less guilty about expressing yourself through the pain. You exchanged your sanity for memory loss, but maybe you thought that was best. Or maybe that was all you knew. In that regard, how much does a cross cost? Sickness in your spirit from trying to heal trauma with Scotch tape. You started quenching your thirsty soul with the words of Christ. What a crucial second chance. Life pumped out more blessings and a difficult road gradually eased. This is the version of you I'm acquainted with, though I see glimpses of the other side in my father's anger. Not the eyes of alcohol, but the eyes of a scared child lashing out at his own. It's just the pain trying to escape. Funny how things come full circle. I was in my dorm when I learned you were sick again. I guess the heat of the red words caused it to bubble up in the form of something just as intoxicating. Cancer. In all honesty, I thought you would be 100% bald and unable to move, or worse, and I wasn't able to see you until the next year to make them worse. But when I did, the only indication of your condition was the physical weight loss. I never saw your true weakness, never saw your true sickness. I gave you my red jasper crystal before I left. I figured that since you were a Taurus, it would help. You went to hug Dad right after and broke down. Grandma asked why you always cry when Dad leaves you, and I thought, it's just the pain trying to escape. Funny how things come full circle. I heard that your offspring have the potential to be the answer to your prayers. If you have ever asked for a cure for your sickness, know it wasn't made in vain. Yeah.
How you feel?
Like I need to do one more for closure.
Give it to us. We want to hear it.
Snap to that one. I'm gonna snap to that one.
Hey, I was just
we want to hear all that,
bro. The content in that poem was a little too familiar for me, and I was gonna be like, "Look, man, I don't want to feel this way right now, bro. I need you to do another poem. You can't
okay.
Leave. I don't want to.
Nah, we're not gonna leave it on that. No, we not. I mean, if we gonna leave it on any type of note, it's either gonna be something that's like,
it's gonna be what you want it to be, bro.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna.
How you gonna leave your mark right now? What you gonna do? Leave your mark in this Juneteenth virtual showcase.
Dang.
What you gonna do?
Now you put it in a way that I kind of need to like flex right now. I might
go ahead,
even go.
Fruit.
You know what?
You know what?
All right. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the book down because y'all can purchase this on Amazon for $15 plus shipping and handling. So y'all can get that. You feel me? But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pull out my favorite poem.
We're gonna scrap the reading. We're gonna scrap
yeah, we're not reading nothing. We're not reading. It's all right here.
Let's go.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, he had to drink the water first.
Oh, we gotta drink some water.
Yo.
That's how you know it's about to be a good one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Agua.
Okay. This is called Way Back. Not too much context. I just, I felt away. James Brown said it best. I'm black and I'm proud. But even though I'm young, I know my history, and not just my family, but like my people, my heritage, my culture. I can tell you how far back it goes until I get back to Africa on my father's side, and how far back it goes until I get to the Native Americans on my mother's side. So I say all that to say this poem was written with that in mind, but speaking to someone who might be trying to act like they're superior to me. So I go way back, like my name is Sherman. Embodiments to Peabody, when I speak sermons, certainly I'm certain that we have more truths to uncover, right? Like that moment I found out I passed up on a past life. It's a first time for everything. And this intangible thing called life is everlasting. I pulled a fast one on the last king, though. Bloody writing gone nude, like women undressing, damn. But is that explicit? Question, is Robin Hood a hoodlum if he takes his birthright from the wicked? If so, will his future be solidified as one whose work is only respected by those who come from the hood? I mean, his environment, who knows? A thief in the night who looks like one and speaks like chief, yet both got beef with me, though. I had to tell a longtime friend he was straight snake just because of it. Broke bonds with verbal parries and I buried them. Battering the battlefield with Michael's sword and battle wings, batarangs. Some of them I wield to help me tip the scales. Dragon slayers take no L's. Still I speak of temples flipped upside down like I'm airbending. Just a humble man speaking straight facts, right? I go way back like when Tiger was hitting hole-in-ones from the 100-acre woods. I stayed driven and ready to swing, even when pulled back. T.I. double got with that kickback. Pooh with a sweet tooth like Chance with the Kit Kat. But I'm also Christopher Robin with the yarmulke. Got the complexion of original Jews. And yes, I think I'm original because of my hue. The one sentence that haunted you. Faces looking pale like trick-or-treat ghouls, and I ain't boo-boo the fool, so you should make like your best friend in Blue Skidoo, because I go way back like I know who my daddy is, and to hell with just being a little bit excited, because what a riot I can be, right? My origin going farther back than the thought of laying black bodies in the street, right? As far back as the skin my melanin be, right? I go back to be. Back to when the present was a gift, and that's what I want it to be, past participle. And particles split like the fox and the brown when I return to the future, strike it, bring it back. I said particles split like the fox and Dr. Brown when I return back to the future, and it's a goddamn shame. Because I go so far back, you couldn't even fathom my beginning. So because of that fact, I'm going to have that be the ending.
Yay.
Yes, thank you.
Top fruit.
All right.
Wow.
Please don't forget to drop your contact information in the chat so we can all follow you and support, okay?
Send us the Amazon link, everything.
Yep.
We want it all.
I will.
Great job, my guy. That's fire.
I think this is a good reminder to everybody in here to just remember what family sounds like. You know what I mean? And to remember what what our community really is about. And this is what our community is about. It's about being able to get in the same room with each other and share our feelings and our energy, and to be supported and not feel alienated and not feel attacked, but to feel loved. So shout out to all of you in here, especially those of you who are not signing up but are just listening. That means so much. I promise you. There's a big difference to poets, a lot of poets, between performing in a room full of poets and performing in a room full of just pure listeners. You know, people who just are there to listen. So thank you to both sides. Let people know how they can follow you, support you, and then you'll get into the chat and put it all in there.
Okay.
But just tell people.
Okay. So on Instagram it's ybg.prince. On Twitter it's ybg_prince. I got SoundCloud, that's Prince Allende, because I make music too. You can find me on Apple Music and Spotify and Tidal and all that other stuff under the same name, Prince Allende. My book, like I said, is on Amazon. It's $15 plus shipping and handling. It's called, all you have to do is look up Unwarranted Approval and it should pop up. You'll see the book with the picture. And my sister actually took this picture. Yes, she did get her credits because that's family business. You already know. And yeah, again, thank you to everyone who is willing to listen. Like Prentice said, you know, just the people who are just listening in, giving off the good energy, the good vibes, it's definitely appreciated. Because sometimes, like, we might write something and we just want to keep it to ourselves. And the anxiety of even sharing it and knowing that someone receives it in such like a good, positive way, it truly does mean the world, not just to me, but to everyone who has performed and everyone who will. So again, thank you. Thank you. Peace and blessings.
Word. Stick around if you can, bro. I want to try to bring you back if you have time. If you don't, it's no problem. But if you can't stick around, please do.
Bet.
All right, man.
Peace.
Just go ahead and mute your phone for me. Thank you. That's Prince Ayunde, y'all. Bro, make sure you get in the chats right now and put that in there because everybody's going to be checking for it. I got people asking for copies of your book. So that's what's up, man. Great job. All right. So we're going to keep moving, keep going. Again, we'd like to welcome everybody to the virtual open mic San Jose Juneteenth Festival, annual every year. Typically, we're doing this downtown San Jose, but due to the quarantine, we are all quarantined, but still doing this. So shout out to all of us, just, you know, caring about our people, caring about other people, showing love and compassion right now. It's really needed. We're going to keep going. So I hope I pronounce this right. Is it Lili Capri? I think it's Lili Capri.
It is.
Okay, it's Lili Capri. Got it. Okay. Well, yo, let me see. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, you're right there. How you doing this evening?
I am doing good. How are you, fam?
You know what? I'm honestly, I'm blessed, man. Like, you know, you realize a lot of strength in this moment. So I'm good.
Amen.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good today.
Okay.
It's been a rough little week. You know, week before was a little rough. I mean, I think it's just everything between work and then there's a pandemic and then there's like a race war. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, it's really everything happening all at once. And I'm just praying through it and trying to, you know, get through as best as I can, given like we don't know what's next aspect of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know when outside is going to open, what it's going to look like. So all the uncertainty is what I'm trying to just kind of pray on and have God give me comfort with the uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's things are definitely going to change, but we got to stay as prepared as we possibly can with, you know, the future being a little unknown. So shout out to you. Thank you for answering honestly.
That's all I do. That's all I do.
Well, you know how social media and just, you know, the social world can be. A lot of times we put out that representative and we get those representative answers that we don't really feel. So, that's, you know, we're trying to get away from that. So the floor is yours. 2 to 3 poems. This is your time. I'm gonna ask you after how people can support you, all that good stuff. And then when you're done, just go into the comments and let people know as well.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. I just saw this on Princess page. I was like, oh, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Just go ahead up in here. So I'm gonna do a poem or two, you know, something real quick. So my name is Alexis Green. I also go by Lili Capri. And yes, so this first poem I'm gonna do, long story short, I actually did a play in undergrad, which was about like well, this is like when Black Lives Matter was like kind of first becoming a thing. So I kind of did a play about it, kind of showing people like what Black Lives Matter means and why we're conflicted. And it was basically a story about, a Black kid trying to navigate through this, Black Lives Matter movement while having a father who was also a police officer and who's Black, and like trying to be like, well, I don't hate police, but I also don't like what white cops are doing to, Black kids. So I kind of explored that. I played the wife in that play. And so that's pretty much where this poem came from. It's sad that this is still relevant, but the changes will come soon. So this piece is titled, He Used to Buy Me Flowers. He used to buy me flowers. I was just thinking about you kind. Used to give me butterflies kind. Do you still have a crush on me kind? And I would look into his eyes and become a bride all over again. In fact, I remember when I met him, there was pain in his chest, so I laid there, told the cold in his bones to make room because I had every intention to stay there. See, I wasn't afraid of his struggle because I believed in his dreams. But that uniform was the only thing that could intimidate me. See, I would have to iron it, look it in its eye, but never let it see me sweat though. I would iron and iron until it was as crisp as it could get. I tried to attack every single wrinkle, tried to smooth out all the danger that this uniform attracts, but no matter how sharp his uniform was, I could never iron out his black skin. He didn't die fighting crime. He didn't die in a car crash on the way home. In fact, he'd still be alive if he didn't have to choose between saving himself or saving his own. That day, to a white officer, I would have either lost my son or my husband. Like, this shit is personal. Like, sir, do I owe you something? Here I am, trying to make a happy house out of the cause this world's been dealing him. Answer me this, officer. If Black men have no value, why y'all always stealing them? As if we didn't love and dance and create life. In him, I saw beauty while you saw beast. Dust to sweep under the rug is what you made out of the man who once swept me off my feet. But he is alive in my thoughts. So I will think of him every second, every minute, and every hour, and every chance I get. I too will buy him flowers, my husband. He was mine. His life never belonged to you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That was
All right now. Now.
Yes, all right.
Yo,
that shit was.
you can't iron his black skin though.
Oh,
She was like, she was doing the little.
when she took the glasses off, that's when I was like, what is going on?
This is where it gets personal. This is where it gets personal. I'm taking the glasses off. This is where it gets personal.
Listen. You better take them glasses off every time you say that part. Because when you took the glasses off, when you took those glasses off, I was reaching for my water, and you took them glasses off like my mama when she's about to check me. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh wait, she take this, and you blew like. Okay. I pay attention to details, so I love that, and I love that you caught it on my page. We thank you. Do you have another one?
I do have one more. I have one more.
Let me mute it.
It's a shorter one. So yeah, the kind of disclaimer for this one. So I'm from Irvington, New Jersey. Jersey's in the house. Woo-hoo. Irvington, North New Jersey, basically same thing. So you know, growing up in the hood is interesting. Long story short, this poem was inspired. I work at a record label, so I was sitting in a production meeting, and one of our artists had a project called Summertime Shootout. And when I heard the phrase, it was both like nostalgic and traumatizing. And I was like, wow, this is like an interesting film. I kind of got to write about this. So yeah, this piece, and this one I actually am doing to music. This piece is called July of 2005. Summertime shootout. A phrase as sad as the wheels still spinning from the fallen body's last spike ride. A phrase as hefty as cookouts to gold plates and house music. The side of summertime that lived on the numbered streets. Always asked our mothers if we could play outside, because if we would have asked, she would have said no. And as we ran through the front door, our shoestrings still loose. We didn't know we were entering a game of hopscotch or Russian roulette, but hey, we ran anyway, hoping that the ice cream truck would pull up before the drive-by. The only thing that could drown out the sound of gunshots. Summertime on our side of town, where water, ice, and brown bodies melt at the same speed, where the butterflies in my stomach didn't know whether to duck or dance, but they knew to stay ready to bust a move. And yet every year, we looked forward to it. Because even if our first kiss was with the concrete, you'll never forget the last time that the body was warm. Thank you.
Hey, yeah!
Look, thank you.
Wow.
Powerful.
That
Powerful.
was good. That
Oh
was
yeah,
good.
that was crazy.
Yes.
That was crazy.
Beautiful. Nice.
That was
nice.
raw. That was raw.
I wanna see you perform live.
I can't wait. Listen, look, when this quarantine.
Wait, you're in Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey.
You know what? I'm dead serious. I think in September I'm booked. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I think I'm in Jersey in September. I want to see you perform live, and I'm gonna tell you what. I want to see you perform live because your energy through the camera, I felt like your pauses, your breaks, just how effortless that was. I felt, and I'd want to experience that energy like in person. You are an amazing writer. You're an amazing writer. Your writing is awesome.
You know what? Listen, look. See, Loud Love is not dead. Thank you, fam. I appreciate it.
Look, and you earned it. You are an amazing writer. Look, it is what it is. So please let people know how they can support you. And then after you share that, get in the chat. Please share it there as well.
Yes, please follow me on all the social medias.
I'm off the weekend.
Lily Capri, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. Thank you, guys. I'm here for all the vibes, so I'm bringing this energy for everybody else too.
Let's go. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. So, as you can see, we got some amazing people in here. You know, people who are just sliding through the gram and see that this is going on and hop up and share their gift with us. We hope you appreciate it. Let her know in the comments. Let anybody know in the comments that you enjoy it. That's all it takes sometimes to make somebody inspired to keep going and pushing their pen or their creativity. So I keep scrolling to see everybody who's in here. And I'm really, really impressed and happy to see so many people in here just enjoying the vibes and the energy. So I'm not going to mess up the rhythm, but we're going to keep going. Next up, we got a young brother in the who's, for those of you who are not familiar with the poetry world, it's a lot bigger. It's very small, but it's a lot bigger, I think, than people realize. You have some poets who do it casually. You have some poets who do it because they love to do it. And this brother right here, although I've been introduced to him recently, I can tell that he's very, very hungry, dedicated to his craft, and has a passion for it. one of the things that stands out about this brother to me is that you can see oftentimes poets pop in just to share their poems and pop out as soon as they're done. And this brother always seems to support, always seems to listen, has an open mind and an open ear. So I'm glad that he tapped in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Z from Baltimore. Z, what's up, bro?
Hello. Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, I thank you for answering my DM. Logging in, man.
You know me, I'm always coming through, man. I'm always coming through.
Yeah, bro. So look, first question, bro. Oh, and just we want to remind other people, just make sure you have your phone on mute, please. So if you just check, make sure it's on mute. That way it doesn't interrupt the poetry. Question for you, bro. How are you feeling?
I feel better. We had like a couple huge marches out here. I live in Hawaii, and to see so many people, like 10,000 people came out to march for Black Lives, man, and that was really uplifting. There's not a lot of Black people here, so to see that many people come out in support of Black Lives really lifted my spirits a lot. So I feel good. I feel good.
That's dope, bro. I seen the postings. I seen your posts, and I that was really just for me. I've been to Hawaii a handful of times, but I've never seen that many people in the same area at the same time in Hawaii. And for what it was for, it really, really stood out. It really did, man. And I understand the feeling. I live in like an affluent neighborhood in the Bay Area, right? And the people where I live don't look like me. And they had a march here, literally right around the corner from my house, and it was hundreds of people that didn't look like me. And it did bring me more comfort to know that I live around some people at least who give a fuck about what we're going through. You know what I'm saying? So I know the feeling, bro. I'm happy you got to see that, and I'm happy you got to share that on social media for us to see as well, man. So I'm gonna leave the floor to you, bro. I already know what I'm about to hear. So let me just get my popcorn. Let me hit mute.
Thank you to all the artists that shared so far. Y'all are inspiration. I love poetry. I love just watching. And just like the other King said, my first poem I ever watched was Prentice Powell on the Arsenio Hall show. I've only been doing poetry for like 2 years, and that turned me on to it. So thank you, Prentice, for being an inspiration. So I got a couple poems for y'all. This poem has been on my mind lately. Just as one of the queens said earlier, like it's messed up how we write these poems so long ago, but they stay relevant when they shouldn't. And so this poem is not new, but you would think I wrote it yesterday. It's a true story. I almost quit my job today. My boss asked me what the BLM on my hat stood for. I told him it stands for Black Lives Matter. You could almost see the privilege stand up on the back of his neck. The threat of those words send an uneasy chill down his spine. The lies that he has been told that makes him opposed to those who hold those words so close echo through his mind as a smirk comes across his face. You know, my girlfriend's brother's a cop. Those letters could also stand for Blue Lives Matter too. I pause. Although his statement is technically correct, the caucasity he has to say that to me in this moment knocks me back like a Jim Crow fire hose. So much goes on in my mind, but I decline to let it flow like raging water because the angry Black man always seems to get sent downstream, never to return. So my tongue becomes a dam, holding back this waterfall of facts like Blue Lives Matter is just to counteract a movement that seeks to shed white light on the red hands that continue to hide behind gold shields. That the very foundation of American police is built on the grounds of catching runaway slaves, and that foundation refuses to crumble, but instead continues to add bricks of Black bodies to see how high they can pile them. Although it is impossible for him to empathize, I just want him to realize that in the history of this country, the people who has been lashed to death, publicly lynched and burned, fed to alligators, domestically terrorized, shot multiple times while on camera were never targeted because of the color of their uniform. Yes, all lives do matter, but who is it that always gets the blind eye of justice when it's theirs that's cut short? But I do not reply. Instead, I just left. About an hour later, he calls me back in his office and he says, although he agrees with the cause, he feels like I shouldn't wear my hat to work anymore because it's controversial. I'm stunned. I can't breathe. I try my best to hide my trembling hands as he does his fragile ego. I ask him, how is it possible that a statement about my life mattering is controversial? How is that you don't want to offend someone who disagrees with the fact that my right to breathe is the same as theirs? He says, well, it's the best way to avoid controversy, and I could talk to HR if I want. But what about my HR? My human rights, my hereditary responsibility to fight against a system where my humanity is rejected. I could go to HR, demand the answers to what I see as blatant discrimination. I could take to social media, put this company on blast and start a hashtag that will haunt his fucking nightmares. I could march on company property, black fists in the air screaming, if black lives don't matter, then neither does our labor. I could go full on angry black man, dress my fist in a blue uniform and turn his face into Rodney King. Maybe if I turn his face into Rodney King, he'll be able to see that the only way that black and blue can all get along is if I turn his eyes one of each color. But I need my job. So I swallow the biggest pride pill I can possibly fit in my stomach. I go home and I weep with the spirit of my ancestors because apparently some chains never be broken. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
The Caucasian.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey,
brother.
After that, go put my blue uniform on and make
Wow.
like Rodney King. Hey, yo!
Wow.
I saw them eyes turning black
That's
and
what it
blue.
is. That's what it is in the comments. It's Caucasity. It's
Honda.
Say it, brother.
T'Challa.
Wow. That's
All
right.
of it.
You hear that energy you creating?
Oh my God.
I love that. I love
Get
that.
the HR,
Do
but
you
what
hear it,
about
though?
my HR? What about my
You hear it?
HR,
You hear
man?
it?
About my human rights. Right.
Soak that in, bro.
Oh,
Soak that in.
I miss being on stage. Thank y'all so much, man. I miss being on
No,
stage.
bro.
I'd have to have my Black Lives Matter shirt
Look,
on at my
never be broke, bro.
tomorrow.
Never be broke.
Thank y'all.
That shit hit the soul. On God, I felt that shit for real.
Brother, I need a cigarette.
It was fire.
Wait, hold on.
Joints are already rolled.
So, I want you to keep going, bro, because I want to make sure I get to everybody, man. But I say soak it in because all that was what you just generated out of other people. And if we can't be in front of each other and get that energy, we need to be patient, be kind to ourselves, and receive that energy that people are giving to us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey,
thank
bro,
you.
pick this next poem, man. We're going to keep running. Let's go.
All right, I got you. So I know like a lot of people are feeling heavy, and I am too, but you know, it is important for these days to, we write about joy, we write about, try to uplift our spirits. So I'm gonna leave y'all with one poem that's, I know us as poets, we don't write a lot of happy poems, but this one is probably the most happy one I have. And it's an appreciation of poets, like all of you. Thank you again for having me. When we look back in history, we tend to look at the artists because they are the best at reflecting the times. So right now, it's a very important time to be a poet. Poets. Poets are like onions, layered, fresh. Sometimes they smell bad. Some would even call us an acquired taste. But most importantly, when life cuts into us, the results will make you cry. Poets are like weeds, not flowers, because we are not here to be beautiful. We do not grow out of this stage to be a pretty decoration in the living room of your perception. We are more resilient than your dainty daisies. We dandelion blow these lines all over the field of your imagination until we blossom in your daydreams. We be rainforests, taking in all the toxins humankind spews at us and only responding by pumping fresh breath back into their bodies. We be volcano, blowing off our tops and spewing out our insides that are too hot to touch, molding molted mishaps, misdeeds, and missed opportunities into new land to stand on. We be dark skies, hovering over crowds to make ourselves into clouds so they can project onto us whatever they want to see, while simultaneously oblivious to this torrential downpour hiding just beyond this silver lining. Poets be the descendants of downtrodden degenerates who disintegrate and incinerate pages with depictions and inscriptions from our encrypted minds. We be conduits, the middlemen, for we do not write these poems. They already exist in a collective consciousness. We simply transfer them from a higher realm to this one. We are not sweet love songs. We are not gentle ballad. We be the bass beating at the kick drum of your heart until your own music spills out of your soul. We the crescendo, the build up, the climax. We be the whole damn orchestra. Even though we use all different instruments to portray our passion, we will play a melody that will make you melt into a puddle of emotion. We are poets for a reason. Because the society we are trapped in can only load us up with so much ammunition before we shoot shattered mirrors back at its face to make it realize that its own reflection is the only one that is broken. Poets be a walk-in psychology lecture, simply mimicking its surroundings, dropping gems, then chopping them into bite-sized pieces so that you don't choke on the whole truth. We are not for the lighthearted. We be too sandpaper to wipe your tears with, too sharp edges to cuddle, too hellfire to be so cool all the damn time, cause life be our pot, trauma be our soil. Water us with inspiration and watch us bloom, watch us grow, watch us heal, watch us poet. Thank y'all again for having me. I really appreciate y'all.
It's hard out here being a poet. It's hard. It's hard.
It is, man. Yes. Thank y'all for having me.
So, yo, let the people know how they can support you, man. And then, right after this, go in the chat and leave your info, please.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to try to follow everybody here. My name is Z from Baltimore. You can follow me on Instagram at Z from Baltimore. I also run this organization called the Lyrical Lounge. We have virtual open mics every Saturday. And just thank you to everybody. I'm going to put my stuff in here, and I'm going to still be here listening to poets, and just, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you, bro. As always, man. And just always, so you guys know, you can also catch this brother coming up on Monday, actually. There's an event that I put on part of the collective called Introverse Live, and we have a show called Intro Verses, which are 5 rounds, one poet and one poet live on All Def Digital, who compete against each other. And Z and another brother by the name of Brandon are on the undercard, so they'll be competing against each other, sharing one poem each. But it's a dope thing, so you guys can always go on my page and check it out. Go to Z's page. I'm sure I'll send you the info, bro, so you can put it out. But thank you, man. We appreciate you, bro. Put your information in the chat. All right, so we're going to keep going. Next up, Casanova Snow. You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, man. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm maintaining, man. I'm maintaining. Better than most sometimes, just a little better than that.
Okay. So today's a little better?
Yeah, so I'm a nurse by trade. But
hey, salute to you, bro.
Appreciate it. I also do photographies, but in the meantime, I started off as a poet. I started because of you, actually, during my undergrad days. And it's just crazy the things that we have to go through on a day-to-day basis as Black people. So yeah, we're in some trying times right now.
We are, bro. Well, I'm glad you're here and you got a platform to say whatever it is, whether it's about your Blackness or anything else, brother. So I'm gonna mute myself. 2 poems, if you got them. If you got one, that's fine. And then we're gonna keep it moving, brother. But the floor is yours.
Okay. So this poem is a little long. Stay with me. Last night, I spoke with God. I asked him, why missing someone hurt so bad? Then I asked, how many eternities did it take to design the left corner of my mother's smile? I asked of pyramids and crop circles, dinosaurs and dragons. I asked him, why does peanut butter sandwiches always land sticky side down? I begged for a visual representation of the Red Sea separation and asked of the Dead Scrolls and of civilizations, and like God, why mosquitoes? After I was done, he looked at me and responded, where are all the men? Confused, I looked around and at the many men around. See, he is the pro at finding. So how come this no profound proof of magic men's presence? But again, he asked, where are all the men? He said, how about this? How do you spell men? I said it was 3 letters. He chuckled and replied and said, you've been schooled, because out of everyone in this university, I state that men have calmed the continent by simply stating they are men. Educated by this poison ivy, league of extraordinary special savage child, where you see a sea of men, I see a sea of boys with dusty toy cabinets. Collecting cobwebs on yesterday's lack of responsibility, I see a false sense of nobility, like peasant thieves who stole crowns and pretended to be kings. He told me, you are pretending to be a king. He said, you've exchanged prayers for petty pinky promised playgrounds. And he's heard a man call a man like it's that easy. God told me, son, it's not that easy. He asked, or rather demanded, how you can manage when the man you have been misplaced and mangled. Manipulated manhood has switched with the man. Man manufactured fraction that was once mandatory. It's like playing manhunt among mandolines, looking for real men of steel. There's nothing romantic about manhandling manners. There's nothing romantic about manhandling manners into forces that match the rest of mankind. You're supposed to stand out, he said. You're supposed to stand out, he said. Look, you're supposed to stand out like medieval mansions in Mantown, Manhattan. I've seen thousands of mannequins standing in what you are pretending to be like. He told me you are pretending to be like man who seeks change. Because when you combine men's laughter, you get men slaughter. Bring it back, you get Shadrach and Meshach, and I bet they gonna laugh at the excuses you come up with. But you choose to stay cool like the Red Mango store. I said you choose to stay cool like the red man gonna store the evil intentions of your dusty toy cabinet of a heart. And this is what you've seen of late man, wait man, you're pushing against your destiny. You can't handle the weight, man. You can't flee from fate, man, because behind every great man, there is a woman. But is that man great if he has his back turned away from his one man? And when man becomes a woman, it's common in San Diego. And then mother has to raise 2 children, Dora and Diego. We don't know what daddy is, so come on, vámonos. Let's find El Padre by mañana, because we might go bananas. It count cost to be a male, some of you female. Read you like a magazine, it's all in the details. Like the responsibility is strong enough for a man, but made for a woman? You think not? Well, good. Because he took a rib to make E, but with some of us, it's like he took an entire backbone. I don't condone. Men, being educated in this cold age, women were to be associates, but bachelors mastering of how to profess her as a caretaker. So at this doctorate, it's going to be a heavy cost when it comes to giving birth, because men have maxwelled the value of a woman's worth. It's like you Superman are stuck with no drive in this lowest lane. Batman, Robin, the woman with your 2 faces. This is the bane of our existence. I've seen man leave woman in the flash of a Kodak. You see woman pursue the ring, but men see the green, then go for the lantern. So I wonder, woman, what is your perception of men? Because you are left to marvel what we've turned these women into, a dead pool of fragments like leftovers fed to rabid Wolverine's beast, breaking in and entering into locked hearts while Peter parked her feelings in the middle of the driveway with the engine still running. You see, playing hard to get gets cold until you find yourself hanging in between city skylines, because it leaves proof of your disposability around the world wide web. So who's going to comfort Katrina and Sandy? These women could be hurricanes if we don't treasure them. Delicate as morning dewdrops can be bitter as the outcome of broken promises. Like, what does a broken child look like? When a man isn't there to be the glue, the foundation in men. We hear kids saying, I want to dance with my father again, but Papa was a rolling stone getting high, as it should just be the 2 of us building castles in the skies. Tell me, how does it feel to see your seed getting raised by bullets? Now he is a son of a gun. I said, tell me, how does it feel to see your seed getting raised by bullets? Now he is the son of a gun. You weren't there to see your son rise. Now you must see your son die and rest in piece is, again, God asked me, where are all the men? Whew.
Hey, yo!
Whoa!
First of
Whoa!
all, that's disrespectful.
Son of a
I
gun.
feel attacked. But at
Son of
the
a
same
gun. And you
time, I
better
feel
run it back,
inspired.
King. Run it back.
You ain't got it. Hey, King. Salute.
Appreciate that. I
That's it.
appreciate that.
That was dope.
Salute.
That was real good.
Good.
Hey, look, bro, you trying to make us poets go write some new stuff.
Listen,
after
I was
over,
right
bro.
here typing some stuff up. Like, come on now.
Like, you can't do it, but like, I got my pen and I almost got disrespectful, bro. I was like, let me start writing shit right now.
Like, like a Magneto.
Hey, brother, we appreciate you, man. You got one more for us?
Yeah, actually, I do. So this piece right here, this is just, so I took it, I was doing an initiative for Black men's mental health. And so I kind of wrote this piece to inspire people and to just be transparent as well. Oh, okay. Yesterday, I saw fruit growing from the concrete. Its petals scream resilience. The stem stood up as proof that reaching for your dreams will be worth it. The roots haven't yet settled, and I'm still trying to find my way. See, depression, it looks a little different on everyone. He resembles bad habits and smells sort of like black licorice. Odd, but somehow just a little interesting. He speaks with the lisp and reads backwards. He's illiterate and strategically switches the letters in your story. You were worth it. Including the times where idle minds became the devil's playground. He swung on your eyelashes as if they were swing sets, jumped off, landed on your dreams, and sprinkled seeds on the shorelines of your eyelids. Has loneliness ever came knocking at your door and toyed with the idea that your story may be coming to an end, but you got a friend in me. It's time to step out of the box. Like sticks and stones are used to break bones while big bad wolves blow down houses that lack stability. Your life is a happily ever after, or maybe it's time for this Cartoon Network to be switched to a different channel because Nick is afraid of what the night brings, so he doesn't look under his bed but hides his skeletons in his closet. Depression screams that these stitches won't turn into scars. It screams, I'm okay. Get out of my room. I'm here. You're there. How can you help me? I just need time alone to think about this desolate land that is no longer bursting with life. I journey these streets, body controlled by strings of a ventriloquist within my own mind. I want to live too. But my lungs are two broken levees with a pregnant silence reverberating off the walls like a broken record on repeat. There was no heartbeat. You are the worst DJ. Envy, drive, and passion. My skin looks like the insides of a rotten apple peeled back and thrown to this floor like a leaf, and the winds of my eyes be Hiroshima windows. If only I knew who killed me. I sit up on this bench, pressured of not doing squat, but lunging for body after body, hoping this is a new rep, but when someone tries to pull me up, I'm just a deadlift. I never learned how to say thank you, so I just lie. Like planks, I just floats on by. So when your plyometric system of old-fashioned scriptures and prayers burn out, set your eyes on me. Because I can't do this alone. And I know you finally want me to come home. I just need your help to do it. But I don't really want to do it. I want to see the fire of passion. The type of fire that lies in the middle of the camping trip, late nights howling to the moon. I wish I could be amongst the stars. So whenever you shoot for me, it's okay if I only land on the moon. These tides of tears are rising. Today, I felt a breeze. For the first time, it seemed so familiar. As if I recollected the moments of walking through the garden, feeling the evening breeze, and hit myself. That was the birth of you. This lonely black hole of a home was mistaken for fruit. But yesterday, down in the hole, growing from the concrete, I saw this fruit. Its petals screamed resilience, and the stem stood up as proof to always take root on solid foundation. Thank you. Whew.
King. Dang, goodness gracious. Wow, thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Ruler, emperor.
That whole
Yo.
metaphor about
yo.
the exercise, my goodness. You ain't
I
doing
gotta
squat,
lie
but you
like a plank?
lunging for
What?
Bars.
Oh,
Bars.
Respect.
wow.
Yo,
This
bro.
the
Bend it in, stretch
plyometric.
it out. Stretch it out. My
Hey,
goodness. Thank you, sir.
hey, look, bro. Let me just tell you this, man. Yeah.
That's all of us. Come on.
I appreciate
That's my compliment, bro.
I definitely appreciate that. I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, I had the opportunity to come and share a few things. I'm definitely gonna stay tapped in with everything tonight, but I just happened to be scrolling as well and just saw. So yeah. Also,
It's crazy how that happens,
bros
man.
as well.
Oh, bro, what? Oh man, we gotta tap in. We gotta tap in off of here, bro. You on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on IG.
All right. Hit me, bro. Like for real, hit me. Let's tap in.
Okay, I got you.
I appreciate it. And so, do me a favor. Let people know how they can support you, and then just put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I'll put all that info in the chat for everybody.
All right, appreciate you, bro. All right, man. All right. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. We got another poet coming up. I'm gonna share a couple of poems after that, and we hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We want to also remind you that San Jose Juneteenth Festival is a multi-day event. So there are a lot of different events going on for San Jose Juneteenth. I believe the headliner for the final night is Anthony Hamilton, amazing brother, very, very talented. So you guys be sure to check out the rest of the events during the day and evening that San Jose Juneteenth is putting on. You can find it all on, what's the handle for Instagram? It's somebody help me, African American Culture, AACSA?
SJAACSA.
Sorry, it's in the chat. SJAACSA. So you guys check it out to stay tuned on everything that's going on. There's a powerful pocket of Black people in the Silicon Valley. Shout out to Milan first and foremost for just putting this on, staying dedicated to community, everybody working with him. Shout out to all of you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna keep going. Next up we have April. April, are you here? She here. I know April here.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Hi, April.
Hi.
How are you? How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'll get better.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you're gonna get better. I promise you will.
For sure.
The floor is yours. 1 to 2 poems, sis, and then we're gonna keep it moving.
I'm gonna do 2 poems. I really write a lot of love poems. I know y'all said poets don't, but I do. Matter of fact, I got 2 books. You see them available on Amazon, 2 books. But my 2 poems tonight are really just Juneteenth appropriate. This first one is a brand new piece I wrote. Yeah, so here it goes. This is so weird, by the way. But yeah, okay. I won't ever have the opportunity to not be Black, to not be feared or threatened or profiled or judged because of my skin. I won't ever be able to send my sons out into this world and set them free. Because if the world is already threatened by a 5'6" me, how will they feel about them? If the world is threatened when my neck rolls, my voice rises, my face frowns, or my conversation gets a little too loud for this establishment, I'm sure with these Black sons of mine, they ain't having it. Because don't you dare make me feel threatened and not be a real threat. Don't ever intimidate me with your skin, your please, and thank you, your yes, sir. Don't ever walk on this side of the street while I'm here, or drive in your car with your music too loud, or play cops and robbers in front of your own damn house. Don't ever make them feel threatened. Don't ever break a minor law, or sell cigarettes outside, or be running in the wrong place at the wrong time. Don't run. Don't ever let them convince you that things have changed when this melanin is sending us straight to our graves for simply existing, for simply wishing, for simply needing, for simply dreaming, for simply being something. Don't ever let this world treat you like you're nothing because of your skin. And don't ever let them convince you that silence will make it all end. Not when we're here again.
Yes, Queen. Yes.
Yes. That's right.
Wow.
Let them know.
Okay.
Let them know.
Okay.
Go crazy, girl.
Come on.
Let them know, Queen. Gee.
Thank you. And since y'all rapping, pink and green all day. I'm just saying.
We said, I'm supporting. We out here.
That's
out here. You know that love. You know what it is.
It's my 20th year. My 20th year. Just saying. All right. I'm gonna give y'all this.
All right, April, you got another one for us?
Yes, for sure. So this piece is in my second book, which is called Butterfly. This is one of my favorites, and it's called My Melanin. The sun rises and sets at my fingertips. So I'd be lying if I said that I don't feel the power of my energy, or that I'm not amazed by the inner me, because I am. And so many times people don't understand that I bring the weather wherever these feet land, humbly. And because of that, the love that comes from me reaches others, drips on to your friends and your lovers, helps us all discover that we are great. And it has nothing to do with what we ate. See, it's in our hearts, our bones, our souls. Our DNA creates this glow. Nothing can stop it. And some don't understand how it enters through my soul and drips from my hands, how its power radiates, elevates, changes, improves. There's no secret about these tools I use. It's butterscotch, it's peanut butter, it's chocolate milk and dark. It's the way my curves form and the rhythm of my heart. It's all the things that can't be altered, the things that God placed within. It's the undeniable power of my melanin. Thank you, guys.
Hey, phenomenal woman over here.
Hey.
You sound wonderful, April. I love you. You sound good. Go, sis.
Love it. Love it.
All
Boy
love
from
to
the
you.
East Coast. Go ahead, April.
Let people know how they can support you.
All right, I'll talk better then.
Okay. So that was April the Poet, y'all. Thank you, April, so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
And again, we thank you all you guys for tapping in and listening. If you guys don't mind, I'll share a couple of poems to contribute on the poetry tip. And we'll see what time is looking like. But for now, we thank everybody who's participated thus far. Okay. I'm sorry. I really tap into my poems, man. And with what's going on, it's just, I got a million of these poems, you know what I mean? And it's just, I get a lot of messages over the past couple of weeks. People are like, it sure would be nice to hear a new poem from you right about now. And I get it. But go listen to like 10 old poems of mine that talk about brothers dying and brothers being killed. And I think sometimes people don't understand that shit is draining, because for me, it's like writing about myself, because when I see brothers die, I see myself dying and I see my kids dying. And the trauma from that is real. Just to let people who are watching know, the trauma that we experience as Black men from this is very real. And we face it in different ways. I'm one of the type of people where the last couple of murders, I tried not to watch the videotapes because I know when I allow myself to see it, I then have to allow myself to feel it in totality. And what that does to me is it puts me in a really, really hard space. And like I said, I'm just keep it real. I live around a lot of white folks. I live in San Ramon. So if you're in the Bay Area, you know where I'm at. And sometimes I don't want to see them. You know, sometimes I don't want to write these poems. Sometimes I don't want to recite them, but they're necessary. So shout out to all of you who are pouring out your heart. But this is a poem that I'm working on. I'm actually done. It's not fully memorized, which is okay because we're here just sharing work. So I figure I'll do something I don't get to do often, which is share something that isn't memorized. None of my favorite superheroes wear capes. I was thinking about that. You know, like I liked Spider-Man growing up. I always thought I was Spider-Man. I broke my arm when I was 6, jumping off a roof, thinking I was Spider-Man. That did not work out well at all. But as I got older, I realized that the people I admired most weren't in comic books. Most of them are too busy trying to keep a key to their own home so they can care less about earning the key to the city. Some of their stories are ugly and will never turn pretty enough to give off that superhero vibe. So putting their comic book up on the shelf for sale just wouldn't sell. And it definitely wouldn't get people who are trying to escape reality to subscribe to their story. A lot of my favorite superheroes just want to relive their glory days back when there was a child in the world who wanted to be like them. And I say back when because nowadays they don't even want to be like them. I remember at the age of 10, I watched one of my favorite superheroes leap off a tall building in a single bound. And it wasn't until she hit the ground that I realized she had absolutely no intent on flying. I remember her cursing out gravity and God for allowing her to land on her feet. And it wasn't until she got up and walked away that she realized God had absolutely no intent on her dying. I'm telling y'all, none of my favorite superheroes wear capes. One of my favorites happens to be a black man who wherever he sees a white one turns green. Not from envy, but having to learn how to suppress his inner hope. See, his stress comes in bulk and there's no membership needed for him to give out free samples of aggression. Some of my favorite superheroes have X-ray vision, but can't seem to see through the bullshit that being a superhero comes with. I know a Superman who thinks the kryptonite he snorts is the source of his power. I know one who has the ability to starve himself for days when he's broke, just so his kids can say they ate. And a few have become the masters at the art of taking cold showers. I know a few who walk 3 to 4 hours one way each day just to get to work, starving. They spend their nights walking home, staring at the stars, wishing they had a car, wondering why God didn't give them more drive. But my favorite superhero ever is a soul shifter. See, she possesses this power to love broken black men back to life. She's like love's alliteration. You should see the way she turns them from pieces to people, the way she permeates places purposefully with passion. I marvel at her ability to restore power and pride, and she has amazing insight. See, she realized at a young age, we as men tend to try to prevent people from being predisposed to the painful pride we possess. She doesn't sleep much, but when she does, she often has dreams of being a good man's wife. But every time she feels like she's found an equal who has the power to love her back, her spidey senses kick in just in time to catch them slipping, and somehow they always manage to make her feel like the villain. They feed her garbage, leaving her with a sick taste, mentally in sick shape after she's tried to contort herself into 6 shapes just to fit his idea of what a woman really is. And during those long nights when she's struggling through life, there are no X-Men in sight to save her. Just a few unread text messages from some exes and random men in her DMs who has her brain one text away from standing on the cliff of regret. I know a super common man. He has this ability to roll up the emotions he typically wears on his sleeves when dealing with his child's mother, who often feels like his worst enemy. See, his weakness is exposed to the vulnerability of being a father. He's managed to figure out how to be a dad without a blueprint, but he's still trying to figure out how to get the bitter mother of his child to stop calling him her bitch-ass nigga in front of his daughter. See, his daughter is his life source, but every time she witnesses the vindictiveness of her mother, it slaughters him. But all he has to do to feel alive again is hold that little girl's hand so he can feel the best part of him. I'm telling you, none of my favorite superheroes wear capes. Some have been told they don't belong here. That may explain why they've always felt like they were from another planet. Some have mismanaged their abilities, and what's crazy is none of them seem to be invincible, but the world has made them feel invisible, and all of them are damaged. And I know they don't want to do right, but this world has them moving through life so left-handed that they can't seem to grasp that concept of control, and it gets rough because the skin you're in simply isn't enough. But how much are you willing to let a costume cost you? And I want to tell them that I get that why they want to hide. that I understand the irony of putting on a mask because it's the only way you can feel recognized, that I understand what it's like to feel so dead inside, you begin to wonder if you're actually immortal. You know, my 6th grade teacher used to always ask why my head was in the clouds. And if I knew then what I knew now, I'd tell her because I've been flying since I was born. But what if they felt undeserving of the power they were given and didn't know what to do with it, so they ran from it instead of attempting to understand it? So they prayed to God, asking him to deliver them, but God has already delivered them. If they only knew all I'd do if I had that amount of strength for just one day. I'm a refurbished jigsaw puzzle, patiently piecing pieces of prints with precision while pursuing perfection I know I'll never reach. I've never been a teacher's pet, yet somehow I am my father's stray, a rabid dog without a muzzle, looking for someone to trespass on my soul's front lawn as I renovate the inside. See, I decided to have a yard sale Saturday. Yeah, I'm giving away all unwanted memories, baggage included. See, I've grown and these shoes just ain't my size no more. And plus, I'm done yelling at all the skeletons in my closet. So all you motherfuckers gotta go, oh, I'm sneaky, poison diluted. See, these words kill slow. I'm what happens when you meddle with metaphors inside of a crock pot. These words cook slow. Just know if you're patient enough, these words will fill you up. After all, I am a poet, foul mouth with fresh breath, a man you can eat with but never eat off. I'm a savage, trained to eat all the meat off the bone, which really was a lesson taught, but not necessarily learned. But oh, how the tables turn when there's no longer a full plate in front of you. You can't erase the hunger pains that have been etched into your flesh, partly in Sharpie. So pardon me if I want to part ways with the parts of me that aren't permanent. I'm what gradual success looks like as you earn this shit. I am what is to come when black men learn how to swallow their gun, the silence in between the click and the clack, while learning how to master this 357 Magnum of a tongue that does not know how to chill, but ironically is known for having a mean kickback, but no one is invited to my party. I'm an introvert who seriously seeks solitude while staring at the sun. I see light with my eyes closed. I'm the first of my father's 4 he gave life to, the life who he threatened to take away. If I was ever to raise a hand against him, well, hey, Dad, here's 2. I am not afraid of you. I am Prentice. Beautiful tragedy. Trapped inside a brilliant mind with absolutely no walls to contain me, I roam while standing still and breathe without inhaling. I speak best when silent. I find peace in violence. I am scared of everything but for absolutely nothing and no one at all. I stand tallest when broken down. I'm a loner with 100 best friends. All of them named adversity. I used to often pray to a God that I didn't fully believe in, have yet to atone for my sins. But then again, why do I need to when I seem to be the epitome of innocence compared to most of them? I'm a man who frowns with the devil's grin, an angel full of sin. Too impatient to learn how to fly, so I pluck the feathers of my own wings and place them inside my pillowcase in hopes that one day I know what it feels like to sleep heavenly at night. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of darkness and light. None of this is going to make sense. I'm just still trying to make sense of it all. See, no one told me having a gift came with so much responsibility and consequence. Sometimes I feel trapped within my freedom, like reality is illusion. Can't decipher whether it's God or my conscience talking. They both tend to blend together to create this mute sound called confusion. I find sanctuary within the autistic minds of the children I used to teach from 9 to 5. The uneducated call them crazy. Shit, I call them free. This artistic mind of mine won't take time to heal, but it will stop for nothing. I tend to digress while trying to progress. I know this sounds contradictory and none of this makes sense, but life is full of contradictions. So how can this not make sense? They say I look just like my father. I say it's a shame I wouldn't know. It's been so long since I've seen him. I heard recently he got in the church and got saved, and I say good for him, but why am I walking around still wrestling his demons? 25 years ago, he lost his hands in a fire. Maybe that's why he doesn't pick up the phone to check on his grandkids. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm just saying. I don't think it's fair. I gotta walk around with both of our burdens while he gets to be hands-free, even though we both carry the same name. Lately, pain feels better than it should. It kind of wakes me up, but I'm so tired of feeling it, so I submerge myself into the notebook, refusing to come up to the surface until I'm able to breathe life into suffocating ears. You are looking at a man who is dying to live, a man so scared of going sane, but just wants somebody to tell me that I am not crazy, that this is just life. And if I'm crazy for trying to make sense of it, how crazy are you for not trying to?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh, I just kind of zoned out.
That's
My bad.
Yes.
Man.
I'm over here dying.
Being I share a couple more. So we have this amazing ability as Black people to turn lemon into lemonades, to take the fucking rotten lemon peels and make it into a lemon meringue pie. We take the ugliest, we make it pretty. We take the scraps we get and make 8-course meals out of them. We take everything this world and this country gives us and we find a way to make it beautiful. Just beautiful. And I truly don't understand, this is not a poem, I just don't understand how in this time of being Black, out of all the oppression that we're facing, how any of us don't realize that this is everybody's behavior towards us, everybody's treatment, the way they try to keep us down, the way they don't change gun laws, the way they don't change criminal laws, the way they police us in our communities is a direct reflection of the power of Black people. Nobody is going to go this hard trying to keep us down if we're not stronger than we actually believe. And I honestly believe that. And I need every single one of y'all listening right now to understand that you are powerful beyond measure. And I really mean that on some superhero type stuff. I truly believe that Black folks are the closest to superhumans on this planet. And it's because we are a product of pain. I am a product of pain. I am your sober brain, both on and off drugs, the COINTELPRO byproduct, which basically means I'm that sliver of light that made it past the crack. I'm that Black baby cub that managed to escape, raised in a jungle in worn Jabot jeans, both torn and dingy, surrounded by what they call super predators willing to get it by any means, the victim and the assailant, which basically means I've been preyed upon while preyed upon. So my notebook reads a lot more like a jungle book. I guess the Mowgli in me has seen too many things. I am the product of pain. Open wounds screaming for a band-aid, the surgeon's playground, the hood's anomaly, you know, the reason why they leave and stay around. I'm the reason why grieving mothers resist the warmth from sun rays on some days that they pray their son raises from the dead at 33 years of age. You know what they say, Jesus saves. I am the product of pain, wrapped in all of God's grace, soft heart, stone face, fresh cut, nice, kicks always mean. I spit clean, but I fed garbage on the daily. Maybe that's the reason behind why I talk so dirty. Maybe I'm just a little too corner store corrupted, you know, brain open 24/7, feeling 7-Eleven in height, but somehow wading in 3 feet of water still feels like I jumped off the deep end. Now I'm drowning in self-inflicted pain. I'm that Black wolf howling at the moon, scowling for a disgruntled officer with an itchy trigger finger who isn't afraid to pull it. I just pray when we meet under that night's full moon that his clip is loaded with silver bullets, because I have been trained to be a monster in a world full of monsters who don't like monsters, who have mastered the art of becoming monsters. If Massa only knew with those lashes he threw, he was creating future monsters who would be taught to speak salt with a wounded tongue as the world craves my flavor. I was breastfed Novocaine as a child, I've been numb. But I'm too smart to dumb down. When they gentrified my streets, they didn't realize they let all the dogs off the leash, and we are just getting started and are far from being done now, because we are Black men in America. And being a Black man in America means being my brother's keeper. Being a Black man in America means being my brother's keeper while keeping the distance from my brother, because I don't trust them further than I can see. It's believing the cops don't give a fuck about you. Scratch that. It's knowing the cops don't give a fuck about you. It's learning how not to doubt yourself, because when you're born, everyone else already does. It's the love you have for your mother, regardless of her flaws, and it's dealing with your daddy issues so your son doesn't have to. Being a Black man in America is a gift, a blessing. A blessing God chose for me to receive because he believes that I can handle it, but it's also a gamble. It's knowing every time you step outside, the world is a poker table, and whether you like it or not, your chips are all in. It is the grin you put on your face every time you feel pain, just to let the world know they will not break you. Right after dropping down to your knees, praying to God, asking him to heal you because the pressure has gotten way too real. So you pop a couple of pills, but it still doesn't kill you. But what will is something as simple as going to the corner store without your pistol that's tucked on your mother's floorboard. Or what will is not detaching yourself from your best friend's dangerous lifestyle because your loyalty won't let you. Because you know, had he not been around when that incident went down, you may not be here right now. Being a black man in America is Prentice Power, knowing I could have easily been Mike Brown. Hands up in the air, screaming, "Don't shoot." 6 bullets in my body, face down on the ground. It's to spend your days constantly trying to find ways of getting a fair swing at this game without having the umpire tell you out before you even step to the plate. It's to work minimum wage and be paid in Cracker Jacks as the whole world watches you with open eyes as you sift to get to the bottom of the box, only to realize that there is no prize. It means that you can die with a pack of Skittles in your pocket, have your murderer acquitted, then deemed as a celebrity to participate in a boxing match against a washed-up drug addict who used to rap, have people who look just like you pay to see that shit on pay-per-view, even though it won't bring your life back. It means black boy, turn your music down, play it loud if you want, but that may be the last gas you ever pump. Being a black man in America means stay the fuck out of Florida. And I got a son who spends half of the year in Florida. It's telling your children not what they want, but what they need to hear. It's me telling my 2 boys at the age of 9 and 11 that they are already feared. Being a black man in America is not knowing how to swim, yet still having to keep your head above water. It's learning how to patch up your boat while teaching your children how to stay afloat. It's to refrain from saying so many things you do want to say. It's knowing when to run fast and walk slow, because I know between me and you in this country, there's already a race to the grave. Being a black man in America is to literally possess everything that lacks in America. Why do you think they work so hard for us not to succeed? Because we are hypochondriacs of the soul who bleed when we speak. Being a black man in America is a full-time job you will never see a single penny for. There are no breaks, no time off, no benefits. It is a lifelong commitment and an early death sentence. To be a black man in America is to be a black man in America. And unless you are a black man in America, you will never understand what it's like to be a black man in America. But please do not pity us. Ooh, envy us. We are whole pieces of broken. Some too shattered to care. And some of us, many of us, most of us, are just trying to put the pieces, we're just trying to put the pieces back together. Thank you.
Boy, you snap.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So,
you ain't a black man in America. You better let them know.
Man, they got to hear it. They got to listen to it. I see we're at 8:05. So we hit the point from 6 to 8 p.m. We thank you guys for participating. I thank everybody. Lindsay, I see you still here, and you were one of the first people in here. I thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. Please know to continue support San Jose Juneteenth Festival. I know they'll make some announcements before we get off here on what's coming on in the future. But we just would like to thank all of you guys for tuning in and know that these spaces are absolutely necessary. You do not have to have an organization. You don't even have to be organized to do something like this. All you need is a phone with a Zoom app. And you can create your own space for your own people if need be to come in and kind of share how they feel. So thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Prentice Powell. Again, I've been your host. I appreciate you guys. I love every single one of y'all, especially my people from Instagram who got on here, my family. Everybody. So I will turn it over, but thank you guys for participating. Let's do this again before next year.
Thank you.
Oh my
God.
So I'll pass it on to y'all if you guys want to make any announcements about what else is going on for Juneteenth. I don't want people to get off without knowing what's happening.
Okay. All right, so if you guys look into the chat, I believe we dropped our link for Juneteenth in there. We're doing it virtual this year, so we have a Juneteenth day full of fun.
We'll probably have about 10 to 12 different programs rolling out throughout the day, and we would love for you guys to tune in. In a second, we're going to drop the link again. That way you guys can know right there, BayAreaJuneteenth.com. So I want you to go on that website right there. Once you get there, you'll be able to navigate through our site, find what's going on in our community, find what AACSA is doing, and be able to RSVP for different events throughout the day. We have kids sectors, we have cooking, we have education programs, we have all kinds of things going on between today and Saturday. So please check in with that. If you have any questions, we'll also drop our information for the agency with our phone numbers and emails. That way you guys can connect with us that way as well.
Oh, well, thank you again. Thank you for allowing me to be your host. I'm always grateful to play a part in the San Jose Juneteenth Festival in whatever capacity. So I humbly thank you guys. Please lean on me anytime you need it. And just thank you for everybody for listening and sharing your work and being strong during this time. We all need it. So please don't think you're too strong to ask for support, to ask for help. Please know, as Black men especially, is imperative that we learn how to communicate our feelings with each other. Don't walk around with that bottled emotion that you may be having right now. Know that I'm a brother you don't even need to know to talk to, because I feel it every day. So if you don't have a Black man near you, close to you, or one that you trust, feel free to lean on me. I know there's some other wonderful Black men in this feed also. There are a bunch of amazing Black women, so please don't think I'm gonna let y'all out, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. And they're just amazing people in general. So thank you to all the love and support. And we really, really, truly hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Please look at the chat box. We have diapers for babies at the agency. We have Maisha shouting out our diaper program, as well as Milan shouting out the census. Please don't forget to get counted in your census, and also to sign up to vote, because that is the only way we are really going to make a change. So please don't forget to vote and to sign up to vote.
Also, we noticed that we had a lot of great talent going on today, and we weren't able to get everyone in time. So what we're actually going to do is open the floor up until 8:30. If anyone wants to stay and just get some things off their chest and use this as a support system to connect, please do so. We will be here till about 8:30. So go ahead and get some things off your chest. I know there's a couple of people that still wanted to say some things, and we're here for you guys to have that opportunity. So please share.
And I don't want to be rude. I just want to let people know I have another obligation and event that started at 8 p.m. So I am going to just respectfully just kind of step off stage. And I thank you guys so much for letting me participate again. So thank you.
We appreciate you for everything you did. Thank you so much for this program.
Was there anybody else who still wanted to share? If you guys want to drop your stuff down in was there anybody who wanted to kind of maybe, after getting inspiration, want to go one more time?
Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Could everyone please mute themselves while we have our next speaker come up?
On me. Oh, okay, cool. What's up again, y'all? I'm going to do my due diligence, because we're gonna clap and we're gonna snap. We're gonna give best to both worlds. Because good God the mighty. People had me writing. I was looking at stuff that I poetry is competitive, but it's in jest, it's in good spirits. So okay, so what we're gonna do is I just want to read some stuff that's I just been practicing with. So it's nothing perfected, it's nothing crazy, but at the same time it's still good energy. Okay. I will mess this up, so just gonna have to take it. No title, but it was written May 25th. Dicker beads remind these slaves of Caesar to stay seasoned in the sea salt of divinity. We been wading in them waters longer than Jesus been caucus. And the only bluest eye I believe in is by Toni Morrison, which is to say, I don't trust blue eyes saying blue lives matter in the blue eyes of the savior when black hues crafted the deepest of blues with rhythm along with every other color on the spectrum will pay per view of our homicide, but let Fox cut off and they'll be hounding the cable company like copper. Yet you hate this copper. Taught to tone down my natural light, your skin too sensitive. Told to conduct myself like a good boy, so what the fuck is a good man? Shown how to sow seeds with no retention, so why the hell am I paying child support for a seed I don't even believe is mine? I guess the heart is too greedy. Yeah.
Look, that was it. You were nervous, but that was clear.
Yeah.
That was clear. You had it. And literally that's what we're for, right? You know, just what Princess was saying, like this is family, this is where you come and you express yourself. So that was beautiful.
Appreciate you. I don't know if is it possible to do one more before I'm done for good? Like y'all won't hear from me again. I'm good.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'm trying to find it. It might not be in this book. I have multiple. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. We're not gonna do that. Instead, what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna do this poem called Godspeed, and I know I'm looking, but I'm actually on my computer reading. So, like, again, I see you, but I don't. Godspeed. Thinking out loud. Thinking about you, who blindfolded my heart, put my soul on high heat to make it white hot, not green, not blonde, but I feel like a dumb bitch for trusting you. I folded my arms and leaned back because you said you had my back, but you backed and watched me break my back from my 100% devotion and surprise. Like, oh, wait, you were serious? Are you serious? I know I love hard, right? But you acted like you met a god when you'd seen it. I would say penny for your thoughts, but I'm wise enough to know you're low-key not proud to be one anyways. It's just the circumstances, right? Now I'm just clowning, right? Or am I speaking to something you won't openly admit? No, no, no. Do you think about me still? Hell no. Do ya? No. Do ya? I just said no. Or do you not think so far ahead, sweetheart? I was so far ahead. I had my vows ready and my I do down pat when I first met you. While I was thinking about forever, you were caught up finding forever. And I know common sense ain't common no more, but it doesn't take a genius to know what a classic is. While I was really trying to love you, you were trying to figure out if my love was real. You reeled back from being scared to put up a front. You put up a front like you meant well, but when anything became possible, you started to tell on yourself. Plus, those hickeys on your neck confirmed everything. Now thoughts of getting on one knee are a bad religion. Now, the only pink matter that matters to me isn't how your brain works. It's the Pepto-Bismol I keep in my fridge because I've got a cold case of stomach aches from your mind games. Apologies. I had to say it twice, like a reprise to a solo. You switched up. Like in those nights when you would text sober and call on some Malibu, like how you would hang up Oya and would call back crying the rivers of Oshun. Somehow it all fit and made sense though. Maybe because I met you broken, so I expected you to carry a chip on your shoulder like you carry that Chanel. You don't see both sides though. Instead, you claim both sides. Stay trying to be down, but we both know when push comes to shoving, you're not even a blip on the radar. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, you used to be like my cocaine white Nikes. But now the more I listen, the more you sound like you want that white, like Othello, no Desdemona, or Novocaine. I wish you well. Now wish me well. And tell him he could kiss my ass. Call that kiss and tell. Godspeed.
Oh yeah, that went crazy. Oh yeah, that
Okay.
was crazy.
Right. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you were just speaking to me. I was like, well, damn. Okay.
Peace
Oh
and
my
blessings,
God.
everybody. Thank you for having me. Stay in touch too, because when I go live, I need people coming on. I need to be on the lyrical lounge and all that. We've all finna link in the enters of net. But thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Okay, so up next we have Casanova. Casanova, if you still want to go ahead, we definitely have the time for you.
Okay. Yes, I will. All right. Let me see. Oh, okay. So since he just did that piece, that really just inspired me. So at first, I did a lot of, I would say, love poems. I'm just infatuated with love. I do wedding photography. And so I actually did this poem at a wedding, wrote it for them. So shout out to all my 90s babies, because everything about this poem is only 90s babies things. Yeah. So I love like a 90s thing. Like day and night are the only two occasions I think of you. We are living in color, blinded by bright flashes as we sink our hearts to go back to the future to recreate this moment of being rescued from a castle. No shining armor, no weapons or fire-breathing dragons, just prayer and vulnerability. I've watched as you rebuilt bridges that were set on fire. Your hands have healed old scars that were given by lion kings as proof to show that the journey often develops the vision of finding your way back home to reclaim the words, I do. Stand here, signed, sealed, and delivered, mummifying this moment in time, wrapping the old bodies of trauma in death-stitched bandages to be planted in coffins, never to grow, but to be discovered. Hundreds of years from now, everyone is wowing over how that even the sleeping beauty of a carcass can be awakened with proper kisses. If all dogs go to heaven, I'll just stay right here on earth with you forever. Until infinity and beyond, the story will be beautiful of how you galloped into the bullseye of my heart without Jesse. It seemed unreal, like talking toys really could teach you to reach for the sky and never aim low, but only to wish upon a star to feel whole again, like toy puppets or magic carpet rides. I've seen a brand new world in your eyes, your heartbeat. It's the most poetic theme song that no movie or Jackson could ever do it justice. You've offered your cornbread piece of a heart as if it was the Last Supper, knowing I would take it whole and do life with you. So let's run away. Or cook up some scheme of how we could escape together, because love is on my mind and I just want to kick it. So who do you run to? On the days that these vows become difficult to maintain, remember our foundation is stronger than any big bad wolf, for this house has been built with bricks with a rooftop. This is not just a house, but a home, an oasis, a memoir dedicated to the both of us. This moment is a 90s love story. Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Nice.
Come on.
I appreciate it. I really do.
No, that was beautiful. I love just the flow of it, everything.
Absolutely.
Like that was the smoothest thing I've ever heard.
I definitely appreciate it. I do have a question. Is any of y'all like from the San Diego area or anything? No? Okay. Never mind.
Why do you ask?
Oh, my brother stays out in San Diego, and I'm often out there. And I'm from St. Louis, but my brothers stay out there, and so I'm always out there often. And yeah, and I ain't been around Cali that much. You know what I'm saying, so I don't know.
San Diego isn't too far from the Bay, so we're kind of like neighbors.
Oh, somebody said 7 hours. That's far from us. You can't even travel in Missouri.
Guys.
You can't even look. Missouri, you can't.
Like distant neighbors, like if you had a plot of land.
You see how they just tried to kick into you? That was so deceptive. Golly.
Okay, I let it go.
California is a long state.
It's a long state. 10 hours from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Driving.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
But to experience Cali, you got to come to the Bay Area.
Yes, if you come out here, please connect with the agency. Please come down. We are in downtown San Jose. So please, if you ever come to the area, anyone who comes to the area, we are an open door. Call us, we will answer, email us, we'll get back to you. Like, our home is your home. So please, you guys will always have a space.
Was there anybody else who wanted to share? Anybody, the floor is yours to anybody. We love, look, we're keeping this going because we love it. Like, we don't want this to end. Like, we're loving all of these.
Milan, go ahead and bless us with one of your poems.
I think I have Lindsay here. Go ahead. I have Lindsay here. Go ahead, Lindsay.
How am I? Okay, I'm still learning how to mute and unmute. I'm sorry, you guys. Thank you so much for the space. This is so beautiful. Not to take it away from the poems, and it's certainly not the most important issue on the table concerning just racism and the support of Black Lives Matters, but a memo came out from Starbucks said that they would not allow their employees to wear any kind of like Black Lives Matter shirts, pins, buttons, anything in support. I worked at Starbucks for 10 years. I experienced personally that they are a racist company, not just towards Black people, but towards other people of color. They're super queer friendly, which I'm a fan of, but you know, they don't have a reputation of being super pro-Black or other people of color. One of my best friends still works there and showed me a screenshot of a text that his manager had sent him that it is like a real thing. It's not just a rumor, like it really happened. So I just wanted to, I'm trying to make a list. I'm from San Jose. Born and raised in San Jose. So I'm trying to compile like a list of other independent coffee stores with a special emphasis on any Black owned coffee businesses in the Bay Area. So I just want to encourage people, I don't care what city, state you live in. I'm trying to compile like the biggest list we can. It's one thing to like boycott and not give them money, but let's also support Black owned business and other like local family owned businesses that give jobs to people in our communities. So I just wanted to like share that I did see a text that was real, that it's not a made up story about Starbucks not being in support, and that I just want to encourage folks, depending on where you live, if you have the opportunity to not spend money with them, like please don't. And you can find me on Instagram at HellaFamous11, shoot me a DM. My website is hellafamous.com. It's not a plug for the social media, it's just ways you can access me. I would love for you to shoot me a message with any locally owned and operated coffee stores or like businesses that we could promote instead of people shopping at Starbucks. So I just wanted to put that out there and say that it is a real story. So thank you guys for that.
Give it 2 months and you'll have a Black-owned coffee shop right on First Street.
Nirvana Soul Coffee Shop, right, Shirley?
Right. They're hiring San Jose State students. They're doing interviews now.
Good to see you, Miss Shirley.
Hello, everybody. I am enjoying this poetry night.
Looking good, Miss Shirley.
But
That's
thank
right.
you.
Well, we will be supporting.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. They're starting their interviews, and they say they want to interview Black students from San Jose State and to work at the coffee shop. So.
Okay. Definitely. So I think we're waiting for Milan to come on and
do his poem.
Yep, do his poetry.
He's gonna do a poem.
We're that's all we're waiting for.
Bless his heart.
Does anyone want to go in the meantime while we're waiting? Does anyone have something they would like to share or share?
I think you guys are doing an excellent job. This is
you ready?
Ooh,
let's go.
I'm excited. Show us your face.
We can't see you, Milan.
Because I'm like a shadow in the night.
I'm waiting.
Was that the poem?
Let the man breathe.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yes, we are.
Do you have the talk with your kids to warn them within an inch of their lives not to sass the police for fear that they will return home to you in a body bag? I don't mean the usual conversation all parents have with their kids about respecting the cops. Sheer terror and outright fear motivate our discussions. Michael Eric Dyson. See, I read something.
Thank you, Milan. That was still beautiful.
It was.
That was beautiful.
I was gonna pull out an original, but I appreciate that.
Look, we appreciate everybody who spoke today, everybody who shared with us today, because we know that that's not easy. We know that it's not easy at all, and especially over Zoom, when you're basically talking to yourself and staring at a screen and having people stare at you, and you're like, okay, well, am I doing good or not? I'm not hearing the snaps. I'm not hearing it. So we really appreciate you guys, and this was beautiful to see. This was beautiful to be a part of. So I'm really happy that we were able to do this.
Yes, and tomorrow we are having our education before the celebration with Roland Martin. Please go on our link, which is www.bayareajuneteenth.org, and then you'll be able to RSVP for it, and you'll be able to participate in that as well. That's going to start at 6 p.m. And then it's available in the comment too if I butchered the link. So it's in the comment.
All right, and we are coming up. We are at 8:30 now. So we do want to just again thank everybody for being on here, for sharing, for just being in this space in general. I think this energy was what I needed. I know that for sure. So I hope that it was what everybody else needed too. So thank you again. We loved having you, and we hope to see you for our Juneteenth events. Please join us. Please join in the community and just continue. Let's just continue this weekend on a good note.